Hey girl, hey. So today I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow tutorial. So I already have my face on, so I'm going to list everything on my face down below and also near or around this area. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get started by zooming you in like a creep per usual. And I'm going to start off by priming my lids using this Suva Beauty primer and this Real Techniques blending brush. This primer is in the shade Pantyhose. For those of you who are wondering, I had a couple of you recommend this to me and I'm really digging it. It does appear a little bit darker on my skin, as you can kind of see here, but I'm going to set it with a lighter shade, which you're about to see, which is the shade Charmer from the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I'm just going to dip this Real Techniques brush, that's what it is. I'm going to tap off the excess and just pat this all over the lid, get it nice and set so we can get a nice smooth base, so it will be way easier to blend out any additional shades we're about to add. So yeah. Anyways, moving on with the Sigma E40 brush, I'm going to dip it into the shade Smarty Pants, and I'm going to blend this in the outer corner of my lid and into the crease area. And I'm just going to go back and forth and kind of in circular motions. I want to get this nice and blended out. You don't have to be too precise with this shade since it is a lighter shade, but we want to get a nice... what am I trying to say? Transition shade. That's what I'm trying to say. We want to get a nice transition shade down and blend it out into oblivion. Next, we're going into the shade Rebel, which is this really pretty kind of reddish shade, and this Sigma E25 brush. I'm just going to dab it in there like so. I'm going to place this on the outer corner of my lid and start blending it into the crease area. I'm really gentle with this shade because I don't like this. I don't even know why I call it skid marks, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. I just apply this really gently so I can get a nice smooth application here. And once I get that down, I'll go ahead and add another layer of that color, that same Rebel color, to kind of deepen that shade and deepen the outer corner and the crease there. I always kind of start light because you can always add more shadow, but it's always hard to obviously take it away because you're just gonna have to use like a makeup wipe or whatever. So I just slowly add the pigment and use a really light hand so I can get it nice and blended out without any little weird streaky, chunky looking situations. I don't even know what I'm saying now. But anyways, going into this, I love this freaking brush. I think it's a brush by The Balm. It's a double-sided brush, but I always use this little, I don't know, it's like a little small detailer blender brush, and I just go ahead and blend that out and go back into the Rebel color once again and just lightly add a little bit more of that Rebel into the crease to deepen it even more. I know I'm crazy. You don't have to tell me. Then I'm going to go into the shade Leader. I have redone this voiceover a million times because I keep wanting to call it Libra, so we're just going to call it Libra then, I guess. And I'm using this small detailer brush by Crown Brushes, and I'm working this in the outer corner of my lid and slowly working it into the crease as well. I'm using a really light hand here because I'm just trying to deepen it. You know, obviously I'm obsessed with deepening the crease and outer corner in this look for whatever reason. Then I went back into the Balm, that brush by The Balm is what I meant, and I'm going ahead and blending this out, and then taking this Sigma E25 brush because we can never get enough blending, and I'm going to blend out any harsh lines using this brush as well. So just a lot of blending with a lot of million different brushes. Then I'm going to go back into the shade Charmer, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone with it. Love this shade. I want the shade all over my face, actually. If I could, I would. I'm now going to go ahead and do my under eye situation, and all my concealers and everything will be left down in the description box. Yeah, girl, get it. Anyways, I always like to leave this part until after I'm done doing my lid area, just in case there's any fallout. I can make sure I can get all that taken care of, and there'll be a nice base so we can be ready to blow out our lower lash line, which we're about to do right about now. When blowing out my lower lash line, I always start out by using my Sigma E25 brush and whatever transition shade I use. So in this case, it was the shade Smarty Pants. I'm going to start off light by adding this to my lower lash line and just going back and forth with the brush. Then I can just slowly go in and add more color and just keep blending it out, and also making sure I connect it up into that outer corner of the lid area because we want to make sure this looks like one eye. We don't want any gaps or weird areas there. I'm then going into the shade Rebel with this small flat detailer brush by Eco Tools, starting in the outer corner of the lower lash line and making sure that outer area is nice and blended together where the top lid and bottom lash line kind of blend together. And then I'm running this across my lower lash line. I'm not pressing it right up against my lower lash line. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap there and creating more of a round look. So my eyes will appear more open and round. And if you guys don't like that type of look, you can, of course, press this right up against your lower lash line. But then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Sigma E25 brush and blend this out so there's no harsh lines there. Make sure the lid and the lower lash line are nice and blended together. Then I'm going to go into the shade Leader with that same EcoTools brush. I'm going to start on the outer corner of the lid just to make sure I get a little bit darker over there, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did before with the lower lash line. Start on the outer corner and kind of drag it underneath without pressing it right against that lower lash line. Then I'm going to go into this brush by The Balm, and I'm just going to blend this all out. I'm not adding any more pigment to this. I'm just going in and making sure there's no harsh lines and really smoking this out. Then using this kind of, I always call it a fat pencil? No. Pretzel plus pencil. It's a fat pencil brush in the shade Leader, and I'm going to put this on the inner corners of my eyes to brighten that up. Then I'm going to use this Stila eyeliner. It's basically just a white eyeliner, and I'm going to put this in my waterline to really open my eyes up even more. I'm going to throw on some mascara and some lashes. These are Ardell Demi Wispies, and this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Say hey girl, hey down in the comments box, because you know I love talking to you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!